Today we're going to be going over what you need to do on your very first day of real estate if you're going to be a successful real estate agent. Now, it's really important that you get started on the right foot, because one thing that most realtors do not understand is that about, I think it's like a 60-70% failure rate the first year. That means out of everybody who's licensed brand new agent as of today, 60 to 70% of them are going to be out of the business by the end of the year. So we want to make sure that you are not one of those numbers and that you actually get to fulfill a career in real estate, because after all, that's why you got licensed, right? You devoted the time, made a commitment, and now you're ready to go after it. And it's important that we get you started on the right foot here. So I've already done a pre-game checklist of what you should be doing before you ever become licensed. Now, if you're not yet licensed, I would recommend you start with that video. If you're already licensed, no big deal. I'm going to do a quick refresher. But basically, it's getting with your broker, signing all the paperwork, getting that stuff out of the way. Even if you're not going to officially turn it in, your broker may not want to have all that documentation on record until you are licensed, but I would urge you to have that conversation with your broker that it needs to get done and out of the way so that on your first day, you can start prospecting. You want to make sure you get set up on all the correct accounts and start becoming aware. Now, again, if they're not going to get you set up on the accounts, also that part is a little bit understandable. There is an investment in that, and a lot of people don't pass the test the first time. So at the very least, get access to the training that's going to teach you how to use your company's CRM, your team CRM, whatever the case may be. If there's any sort of dialers, you're going to want to sit in, watch people, learn how those systems are used in real time. And then I always recommend that you sit in on any team meetings or anything like that, okay? So that is what you should be doing before you ever get licensed. Now, if you're coming to the channel a little bit late and you're just now stumbling across that, no big deal. We're going to try to get you caught up to speed in no time. But the goal here is to try to get you to do 50 deals a year. Now, maybe you don't want to exactly do 50, but it's a lofty goal. It's a good goal to reach for, and it can be done in your first year. You just got to go about it in the right way. So, we've also gone over what you need to be doing for your entire first week. So again, just to recap, week 1 training, you need to be going over any and all online training that your brokerage and or team has to offer. You want to participate in any type of role plays that are taking place. If there are no scheduled role plays, you just need to find a partner and do it. If you can't find one within your brokerage, I would recommend going to places like Lab Code Agents or Real Estate Masterminds, some type of Facebook group. You're going to be able to find someone who's also looking for a partner. Now, it is best if you find someone on the same time zone. So if you're on the East Coast, I would recommend trying to partner with someone on the East Coast. So there's role play. Part of our stuff is reading The One Thing. It's by Gary Keller. No, I'm not a Keller Williams agent. It's just a really good book, and it helps you prioritize the things you need to do in order to become successful in really just about anything you do. And then the other thing we're going to start working on is your SOI, 25 of 100 SOI contacts. Now, we do have a form that will help generate ideas. So if you're one of the few people who goes, well, I don't really have a lot of friends, I don't have a big family, I just moved out to the city and I don't know anyone, this SOI form should help you with that. Now, if you're brand spanking new in a town, that might be a little bit more difficult, but for the most part, there are people out there that you do know that you're not registering as part of your sphere, and that's okay. You need to make them a part of your sphere. So, attending weekly meetings, and then one of the best things you can do, and there's another form that we offer, is it's a Dominate Your Day sheet. So it helps you organize your day so that you can make sure you're going to be performing at a top level each and every day. In other words, it's making sure you're not doing the silly stuff that doesn't actually generate money for you. So you're going to prioritize your money-making activities over other activities. So it's extremely important. Most people don't understand or realize that, yes, they may have put in an 8-hour day, but if little to none of that time was spent on money-making activities, you're just not going to find any real level of success in real estate or any self-employed business. So it's important that we document and record what our day is looking like. You're going to want to track lead generation. You're going to want to turn in any lead sheets and basically becoming a master at time blocking. So that's a week one overview. Maybe that was a little much for an intro video for your first day, but you just got to know where you're going to be ending up for the week, right? So we have our annual goals, we have our 6-month goal, and then monthly, weekly, daily goals, right? So we have to hit each individual milestone in order to hit our big grand goal. So that means you're going to be doing a lot of stuff day in, day out. That's not exactly fun or exciting or newsworthy. But if you do all of those little micro things throughout the day, ultimately at the end of the year, you're going to be able to say, hey, I closed X amount of deals my first year. I became Rookie of the Year within our market. And those are going to be the exciting things because you did the daily things that it required. So if today is my first day, this is what I'm doing. You should already have access to your MLS. You should already have access to all the software. If for whatever reason you have not done that, I would basically just pause the video and go reach out to your broker, office manager, team lead, and make sure all those things are in place. Do not drag this out. What everybody seems to not realize is every single day we don't get on the phones and we aren't prospecting. That's literally just one more day you're going without a paycheck 30 days from now. Okay? So non-money making activities today delay 30 days plus a day, right? Because realistically, you're going to get someone under contract or get a listing, and the person buying or selling the property, there's just going to be some type of loan involved. Not always. It is possible to close within 2 weeks. But again, I want you to be realistic. I want you to have a pessimist mindset that it's just not possible to close a deal faster than 30 days. If you're a pessimist on outcomes, it just makes you work that much harder to hit your goals, right? So it's just not possible to close anything sooner than 30 days. So you can't delay. I don't know how much money you have aside, but think about that. So you're going to get acclimated with all the software. So your very first thing you should be doing today is going to be role playing. You got to find your partner. You got to role play. If you don't have a partner, don't delay. Simply practice the scripts, because here's the thing about role playing. Unlike a lot of the influencers here online, I'm not going to sit here and kid you that you have to have these hardcore memorized and use these scripts that you're practicing to a T. You just need to understand the types of pushback you're going to get, and you need to understand the type of rebuttals you need to say. So really, you're looking for now business anyway. So keep that in mind. Most of these scripts are going to be good for people who aren't ready to buy yet, right? They're going to push you off. Now, some of them are going to be now business, and they're going to push you off, and if you can't identify it, that's going to be a problem. But the role playing is going to help you with things like this. So you're going to get on the phone. The first list I ever called was a buddy of mine's old realtor.com leads. They were anywhere from a month old to a year old. Water splashed back up on my nose. So with that type of caller, and I would recommend that's who you should be calling now, is just old leads. There's two ways to look at it. You can go, well, they're old, stale leads, which is everyone's opinion. Now, in the old, there's gold, so keep that in mind. But it's a super basic script. That's why I like starting off here. You're going to get your list. You're going to make the call. So if you don't have a script, here's your script. And you're simply going to call and it's going to ring. Someone's going to answer. They're going to say hello. And then you're going to say something like, hey, Jonas, this is so-and-so with Streetlight Realty. You had registered on our website a little while back, and I was just following up to see if you were still looking to try to buy or sell some real estate this year. Stop talking. That's the script. It's basic. You're not making anything up. Now, if these are database leads and they came from Zillow or whatever, and you can tell that, you can say that. So switch it up if you know it came from Zillow. Hey, Jonathan, this is Jonas Hubbard with Streetlight Realty. You had registered on Zillow a little while back and had inquired on a property. I just wanted to follow up and see if you're still looking to try to buy or sell some real estate today. See how I didn't even say the same thing, right? I didn't just sub out the business. Again, the script to a T doesn't matter. It's the cadence in which you say it. In other words, how fast, how slow. And then it's the pause at the end. It's the stop. Don't keep talking, right? People have an inclination to want to say, because if you haven't, we got some really good deals going on. Or, I got a lender who can get you pre-approved. Or I can do this, or I can do that. Who cares about you? Just stop talking. Let them say what they need to say. And then listen. No, John, I bought a house last month. Oh, great. Okay, where'd you settle in at? I love that question because I get to find out where they bought a house. And then here's the thing, you can cross-verify it. So if someone were to tell me, oh, we ended up buying in Kettering 3 months ago, I just pull up the county, look up the record, see if he actually owns a house in that area. And if he does, I plug in the address, the type of house, and all the other tags that I would add into my CRM. We'll go over that another time. You don't have to worry about that just yet. But now I'm organizing and categorizing my database. I know this is a real person. I know he has a real house, and I may be able to follow up with them eventually. Now I even know when he bought. So that's why there's gold in the old, right? Because you keep prying. Because you may also follow up with, okay, well, do you happen to do any investments by any chance? Or do you flip or buy rentals? Or are you into buy and holds or anything like that? And just see what they say. They may go, actually, yeah. So if you ever got a good deal, send it my way. Well, now you can also tag them as an investor. So even though you're looking for the now, you're categorizing and sorting for the future. So that's the whole point of the role play, is to know what to say, right? If you called someone and were like, hey, I'm so-and-so, I just wanted to know, did you ever end up buying a house? Like, it's just not as good as a decent little script. Again, it doesn't have to be the same thing. So with that being said, so this is your first day. It's probably going to take you a little bit longer than the way I'm kind of explaining, but basically getting on the systems and making your calls is probably going to be enough for the first day. Now notice, I'm not advocating you start making business cards. I'm not advocating that you start doodling up your Facebook page. I'm not advocating that you go do a bunch of lender meet and greets. I'm not advocating that you do any of those things. Those are all activities that you can do outside of the hours of 8 to 8. What's the important part between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m.? That's your legal prospecting time. You should be prospecting. You have 0 clients. You should be at the office before 8 or at your home setup before 8, ready to go. And at 8 o'clock, you're making calls. If you don't have a dialer, you just punch it on your phone. It'll take you a heck of a lot longer, but that's okay because you're starting the process. That's literally what day one should be looking like. And then what I would probably do if you're doing this with a buddy, a team lead, or a hands-on broker such as myself, we're probably going to break for lunch. And on lunch, we're probably going to go walk a couple of properties. So grab a quick sandwich or whatever, and then we're going to go check out a couple of houses, and we're going to start role-playing, if you will, a showing. I'm going to identify things. I've said it in previous videos, I think, but I like to show brand new agents the differences between houses built before turn of the century, houses built post-World War I, so the 20s, 30s, post-World War II, going into the 70s, 80s to new builds. And we don't do it all in one day. Again, We're trying to maximize our time. We do want to learn. We do want to become educated. But the bulk of our time is going to be spent prospecting because it's so important. I feel like most people don't realize what kind of financial short string they're on. The money's going to go quicker than you think, so you got to be smart. So if you can't buy leads, do what I did. Go and talk to any and every agent at your brokerage, your broker, anyone, and ask them, like, hey, do you have old leads? I'm willing to make the calls. I'm willing to give you a 25% referral fee. I don't mind doing that. Do not waste your time on someone who's only going to give you 25%, right? You refer it back to them. Now, don't become someone's assistant. You're a real estate agent. That's what you're going to be, and you're going to be successful at it. So don't do that. Be fair, but don't let someone be unfair to you. And those are going to be your most important things. Now, in the evening, after 8 p.m., when you're resting and watching TV, you're going to casually want to read your disclosures, your contracts. Again, you don't have to do anything crazy. You don't have to nosedive into it. Read a page of the contract tonight. You'll have another page tomorrow. By the end of the week, you'll have half or all of your contract. Ours are about 10 pages, so it'll take about 2 weeks to get through it. So you may want to do 1 or 2 pages if that's your goal. But here's the thing. Once you get a client and you get someone and you're showing them houses, you're going to have a broker, a team lead. You're going to have a mentor that's going to be able to walk you through that. Because, again, we're not going to do anything dumb and we're not going to do anything blind. We just need to get off the ground and running as hard as possible. And no joke, that is what I'm recommending you do for your very first day in real estate land. And I do think you would be wise to follow that. You're going to see a lot of success in that. And don't forget, as already mentioned when I was doing the week 1 review, before you even start, you're going to do your dominate your day. So money-making activities, if you're not familiar with them, are going to be things like database calls, calling old leads, door knocking, calling your sphere. Those are all things you're going to be able to do. So another one of those things you're going to want to do outside of 8 to 8 is the 25 of your 100 SOI. If you don't realize, I'm basically painting a picture here where you're working a minimum of 8 to 9 hours and a maximum of 14 or more. It's really entirely up to you. If you want to try to prospect between 8 to 8, you could get burnout. I do recommend trying to have a normal day, take a break, do dinner, hang out with the fam, whatever you got to do. But in the evening when you're decompressing right before bed, there's a couple things you're going to have to do. You're going to have to do your SOI. You're going to have to mess with your business cards. You're going to have to mess with your social media. That's the time to do that. Or if you're an early riser, 5, 6, 7 a.m., that's the time to do it, not between prospecting hours. So hopefully you find this content to be useful. I really didn't expect it to go this long, especially because I only said prospect. But I'm Jonas Hubbard. I am the broker owner of Streetlight Realty. We are licensed for the entire state of Ohio. If you are looking for a real estate broker in the state of Ohio, please reach out to me. I'd love to have a conversation with you and see how we might be able to help. And we are decentralized, so you do not have to be in my neck of the woods. We just got to have a conversation. We'll take it from there. So keep that in mind. I wish everyone the best and great day. Prepare for day 2 tomorrow, and we'll go over that. Have a great day.